There we go. Hello, everyone. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Cheers. Goodness me, what day is it today? I've been traveling so much, guys. I can't even remember what bloody day it is today, guys. But one thing's for certain, and one thing I do remember is our godforsaken football club, guys. I am so fed up. I'll tell you what, guys. Really fed up with this football club, honestly. Now, look, we were in talks over this last couple of days about an Amazon TV series, right? About they're going to go behind the scenes and watch Man United like they did with Tottenham, like they did with Arsenal, and all that. And Man United rejected it. They don't feel it's appropriate to do that. Now, the only TV series Manchester United should be making at the moment is a horror show. It should be a horror. That's what it should be. You know, you can get the rom-coms, you can get the little bit of dramas or thrillers. We have a horror show that we can. I think it will sell out. I think it'll be box office. I mean, the best thing since Nightmare on Elm Street, but this time it's Nightmare Old Trafford, guys, because that is exactly where it is at the moment. Man United are in the mud, guys, and you know what? I'm tired of it, and I'm trying to find out news, what's going on, what's Man United's choices, where they're going next, what do we do now? You know, and I'm not finding any saving grace at the moment, guys. I'm not finding any inkling of something that's going to get me enthusiastic and positive. And this is what I said. I've said this all along that, you know, I'm a positive guy, but when it gets to the time, you know, I will not be toxic positivity. I will not be positive for the sake of being positive. I will not be, you know, it's like just like I won't be negative for the sake of being negative. That's exactly what it is at the end of the day. And I am absolutely, honest to God, I am so disappointed, you know, which is a thing, because not only have we missed out on your Craze, who is going to Arsenal, we've also missed out on Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen will be staying at Galatasaray next season, guys. So, you know, I'm so, you know, who are we going for next? So what's the next step here? What is the next step? And all I'm hearing is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the guy who we were joking about, really. We were saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin tongue-in-cheek a few weeks ago. We were saying it as a joke, weren't we, a few weeks ago? You know, and now, guys, we might not even get him. He might go to Newcastle United. You know, we might not even get him. It's crazy, guys. You can either laugh or cry, and that is exactly what it is at the end of the day. And I'm over here in Italy. I'm in Naples, guys. Welcome to my abode in Naples. Thank you so much, everyone. And apologies for the backdrop. It's a new backdrop, of course. I am over here. I am traveling. I'm doing loads of things. Done a lot of things in Qatar the other day. So please don't forget to watch out for that content coming very, very soon. And yeah, I found out a lot of things, guys, about this football club. And, you know, I am so in the mud in regards to this football club. Guys, thank you for joining me. Let's get into some of your comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, my friends. Hey, brother, big at Albie, you legend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. What's going on with this club? I'm pissed off, bro. Not going to finish top 4 next season. Calvert-Lewin is Jim out, mate, all day long now, mate. I mean, unless something miraculous happens this next couple of weeks, you know, I'm fed up. I'm done with them. Already was done with them, to be fair, you know. But you know, I'm done with them. They've got to do something miraculous this next few weeks to make me change my mind, and I mean in proper miraculous. Do you know what I mean? But now you look at things, right? For example, Man United need a striker, right? Let's say Man United need a striker, right? Who are we going to get now? Your Craze is off the market. Osimhen is off the market. Who are we going to get? The only ones I would be, well, okay, that's all right, is Mateta and Gonzalo Ramos, one of those players. Unless Man United find a gem, you know, and they pull out a miracle and if they find a gem somewhere, I mean, then I'll say, well, yeah, they done all right there, didn't they, with that one? But, you know, at the moment, I'm not looking at Man United at the moment and looking at them as a serious football club on the footballing side. I think all they're caring about, as we knew, as we predicted many months ago, a year ago, as we predicted, that this is a vanity project at the moment. This is a vanity project. And yeah, guys, I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be on the miserable negative thing, but it isn't, guys. If you love something so much, you know, you speak the truth, even if it is negative, even if it does hurt. And it does. You know, because at the end of the day, we left last season losing to Tottenham Hotspur, which is probably the worst defeat I've ever witnessed as a Manchester United fan. You know, the worst. Tottenham Hotspur in a European final. Never thought I'd see the day. I'm getting bantered by Tottenham fans. My brother is a Tottenham fan, 40 years. I'm getting bantered by my brother for crying out loud, guys. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I mean, and I thought that this summer they will come in and they'll make a statement. I thought this summer they would just put it out the water and just, make something great happen. And I didn't actually think that they'll be this incompetent. I knew Ineos were incompetent. Don't worry, the Glazers. I didn't think they'd be this incompetent because at the moment, what we're looking at right now, this is worse than a Glazer season, a Glazer pre-season. I'll tell you why. Because we've never finished 15th, right? We've never finished 15th. So you knew what the work that needs to be done in this football club. You knew. Alan, what's going on, my Albie? What's going on, your legend? Won't finish top 10 next year and may get relegated within 5 years. Do you know what, Albie? Last season, I said, someone said, I mean, obviously people were saying we're going to get relegated and that. I don't believe we will get relegated. And the only reason I don't believe we get relegated is because there's always 3 teams that come up that are worse than us. I do believe Man United will finish higher next season. But Albie, in defense of your point, right, I do think that, nothing is impossible in football. And great teams have been relegated in the past. Leeds United got relegated. I know they're not as great as Man United, but, they got relegated at the end of the day. Nottingham Forest, 2-time European champion, have been relegated. So what I would say is that don't rule anything out. If the way things are going at the moment, we've already dropped out of this Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal argument. Now we're looking at the Newcastle, and below. Even Newcastle way gone than us. So we're looking at the teams above us, like a West Ham, Tottenham. Those teams we're looking at. Everton. We're looking at those teams who are a little bit above us now. And we're looking at them. If we fall further behind of them, what's to say we won't get relegated one day? You never know, because at the end of the day, this is spiraling out of control. This Ineos disaster, which I called it at the moment, is getting worse and worse. And I'm not coming every morning and saying that, you know what, I feel positive today about this football club, because I don't. I spoke to some representatives in Qatar yesterday, and they were telling me that, Man United need a full sale. And Qatar would be willing to buy the football club fully. They still would be willing to buy the football club fully. If Ineos sell their shares, they will be willing to do it. And if the Glazers sell up, of course. Now, if Ineos don't exist, the Glazers don't have a leg to stand on. The Glazers won't be able to complete this regeneration project. The Glazers won't be able to invest in the team, the club, as Ineos, because Ineos are dealing with that at the moment, even though they're not investing in the club. They're just penny pinching and making more money. Now, we rejected this Amazon series, of course, because we didn't feel it appropriate. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. At the end of the day, what they're going to show, in the dressing room. I'm looking forward to seeing the pitch side interviews when players get substituted. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be some shockers out there, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if our team start blaming players. Oh, it's his fault. Can you imagine Bruno gets substituted and he starts saying about, Harry Maguire should have done this and Harry Maguire. Can you imagine? It'd be crazy. Absolutely. Kenny, it's already 8th of July, Sal, and seeing Onana smile again. I mean, at the end of the day, Kenny, what can you say? You can either laugh or cry, isn't it? At the end of the day, my friend, I'm absolutely. I saw that, and I'm like, well, I got this coffee, right? Look at my coffee mug. Look at my coffee mug. Hey, look at that, guys. What I would say, guys, is that Man United definitely are, not serious. Ineos are not serious. I only care about what happens on the football pitch, right? I have no affiliation to players. I have no agendas against players, right? But one thing I would call is what I see. And what I see and what I feel is that when I see and feel Onana playing, I'm anxious, I'm indecisive. I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm worried, You can only imagine what the players on the pitch feel when Onana is in goal. You can only imagine it, can't you? That, we saw it last season. We all have eyes, guys. They can deny it till kingdom come. They can deny everything they want to deny. We saw Harry Maguire kicking that ball out of touch when Onana could have just picked it up. We saw the lack of confidence in our goalkeeper. Yet here we are again, Onana. If this was the Sir Alex Ferguson days, Onana would have been gone. It would have been gone. Just like Massimo Matip. Massimo Matip is a better goalkeeper than Onana. I will argue that with anyone. Kenny, and I don't know how much that Valencia midfielder is any good. Now, look, I'm going to get into obviously that defender, that player. What I would say is that was kind of debunked, the other day in regards to it. Let me just write this tweet. 1 second. Have I actually tweeted it out? 1 sec. So basically, in regards to Javi Guerra was linked with Manchester United by a few journalists out there. How credible they are is another story. But a few journalists out there were linking us to Javi Guerra. Now, Javi Guerra obviously is a very, very good player. Can play in numerous amounts of positions. He's just responded to me. 1 second. So I'm speaking to journalists. I've got Jamie Jackson on later on today, so don't forget to join me for that, guys. On Chatterbox, don't forget to join me for that. What did he say? So basically, right, let me have a look. Look, guys, Javi Guerra is a very good player, guys. He can play in defence. He can play a defensive midfielder. He can play, in various positions. And he's 22 years old, guys. Yeah, and he'd be a fantastic signing. He would be an absolutely brilliant signing. I'll be happy with that type of signing. Absolutely, I would. This story has been debunked because obviously he's looking for a new contract. Now, over the years, Man United have been used as a pawn in other people's contract negotiations. And this is something that we have to be wary of as a football club and as fans. We have to be wary of people who are linked with us because they want new contracts. So they say, who the best team is to link you with? Manchester United. You know why? Because there's a craze around Man United. And when someone mentions a player that we're linked with, it goes mad, doesn't it? Post everywhere, in the know people coming out of the blue, out of the woodwork. Things like that happen. And we have to be wary of this, that players do this with Manchester United. Players do this. They do use us. They use our name quite a lot, guys. And, that is, unfortunate because we get excited and we feel, oh, wow, we might be after this good, Valencia midfielder, defensive midfielder. We might be after him and we get all excited and then it gets debunked literally hours later. This I didn't report it because I knew it. At the end of the day, I knew this is absolute crap. But that is the type of signing that Man United need to make. This is the type of signing that Man United need to do. At the end of the day, I would say that. Absolutely. So, what I would say is that again, these type of players. They are, look. Let me don't get me wrong, right, guys. There are players out there that we could sign that would improve Manchester United. Obviously, you know what I mean. But I just don't think we're looking hard enough. I don't think we're looking in depth. I don't think we're digging deep in regards to it. I don't think we are, scouting properly. I don't think we are, to be honest with you. And I can only say that, I'm extremely disappointed with this summer so far. And something miracle has to happen, guys. It really does. Natty, how you doing? Good morning, Sal. Did you see the Ugarte abuse from the fans? Yes, I responded to it, Natty. I wrote a tweet about it. Absolutely. I don't understand Ugarte abuse. I don't. Ugarte didn't have a pre-season last season at Man United. People seem to forget that. And he was inconsistent. Lo and behold, isn't it? It's surprise. He's inconsistent. That happens when you don't have a pre-season. This is why we've been fighting tooth and nail for us to get our players in early. Because of this, players will be inconsistent, notoriously, at the end of the day. Especially when you got a team that is not really prepared to win. And people were criticizing Ugarte, right? Maybe, listen, this is what I was saying, Natty. Maybe Ugarte needs to write a tweet. Maybe Ugarte needs to go out clubbing the night before. Maybe Ugarte needs to arrange an interview behind the manager's back, right? Maybe Ugarte needs to flick the bird at a fan. Maybe he needs to do that. Then maybe these fans, Player FC, they might start liking him then. Because at the end of the day, all Ugarte has done is be professional. He's come into an absolute crap show. This is an absolute mess, right? And I don't think he did that bad. I actually don't. And I think like the way these so-called fans are speaking about people like him because he's posted a picture on his Twitter page with his missus. What is it? Jealousy? Are you jealous of him? Or doesn't he fit the type of criteria that you like? Right? Or, this is what I'll say. This is exactly what I've been saying for a long time, guys, that a lot of these so-called Man United fans have sinister reasons to support the club. They don't support the club because they love the club, the Busby Babes, Sir Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law. They don't support the club because of that. They support the club because they like a certain player. So my feeling is that if you don't support the football club or love the football club, I would urge you to go and support someone else. That's what I would do. Because at the end of the day, right, you're going on Twitter criticizing a player, writing disgusting things on it. And someone wrote a good post, I've seen a lot of people talk about it and stuff like that. One person wrote a post and they said, like, you know what, some of this fan base are I don't want to bring it in, but, a little bit racist, and some of them only want to look at a player because he looks like them. And I would say that. And we are in 2025, guys. For me, every single Manchester United player, every single Manchester United fan bleeds red, right? We are red. We are red through and through. That's what we are. We're red. That's what we are. And unfortunately, people don't see it that way. Some people don't see it that way. You know what I mean? I writ a tweet on Twitter, right, saying that to Marcus Rashford, stay classy, and people are starting bringing race into it. I'm like, mate, all I give a damn about is what happens on the bloody football pitch. That's all I care about. All I give a damn about is the football club. I'm more mixed than the bloody United Nations, guys. I've got so many different races and things in me than that. And I've got people talking like this absolute smack like that, this absolute rubbish about Marcus Rashford. And, you're only saying that because of what you do. Oh my God. I said, you guys are absolutely off your nuts, mate. I said, at the end of the day, if Marcus Rashford was on that football pitch for Man United, I hope he scores a hat-trick. That's all I care about, because I care about Manchester United. I don't care about anything else. This community is red. We bleed red. We are red through and through. And that's what we are. We are red, and we care about the shirt. We care about the badge. We care about the history, the legacy. That's what we care about. We don't care about any of this stupid stuff at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? And people just want to make it about that. You can't criticize a player these days, without them throwing something sinister at you. You can't write "stay classy" without them throwing something sinister at you. Listen, with Marcus Rashford removed everything Manchester United off his bio, right, off his social media platforms, right, which is wrong. I'll do the same. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, if they'd done it, right? But he removed everything off social media. He's still an employee of Manchester United. He went behind Manchester United's back, right, and spoke to flirted with a football club who didn't want him and embarrassed Manchester United. That embarrasses Man United, by the way. When you go behind the club's back and speak to a football club, another football club, and flirt with them, that's a disrepute to the football club. And that's what I would say. Not only that, he's done endless amounts of things over the last year, 2 years, under Ten Hag, and under Ruben Amorim now. And over the last 13 years, who has been the common demeanour? Who has been there from the start of Louis van Gaal and stuff like that? Marcus Rashford, isn't it? Oh, Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford. Kenny. Good on Amorim for rejecting the Amazon TV series. Absolutely good on him. Because at the end of the day, this is not a blow. We're just going to be bantered, Kenny. We're going to be bantered. This is going to be banter. This will finish Manchester United as a reputation. You bring a Netflix series on about this football club right now. It's ridiculous. And whoever was even contemplating doing that needs to be sacked. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jim Ratcliffe and them lot. TV, oh, yeah, you know what? We could do a TV series. Oh, yeah, we could do that, Get 10 million in a year. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's all they care about. As I said, they all only care about bringing in the money. They're not really concentrated on spending the money. They're caring about bringing in money. They don't want to spend money. Now, guys, I want to talk a little briefly about Brian Bremo. Brian Bremo, of course, you know what? We've been talking about him for months, seems like years. Seems like, you know what? I've been speaking about Brian Bremo since 1996. That's how it feels like at the moment. But Brian Bremo is being delayed another week, and rumor is that it is being delayed another week. And what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? I mean, at the end of the day, I shouldn't really be surprised, as with what we've been talking about the last half an hour or so. I shouldn't really be surprised, but this is getting absolutely diabolical now, guys. It really is getting diabolical. Ineos, I'm not going to blame the Glazers because I know what the Glazers are. The Glazers are to blame for what's happened this last 13 years. But for the decline of this football club, the fact that this football club had a chance to have a full buyout, and old Jim Ratcliffe came and saved the Glazers. You are responsible, Jim, if this football club folds. You are responsible. You and your goddamn shitty company, which is called, I'm not going to say it, you are responsible. You know what I mean? And if we fall down the pan, you know what I mean? Big up, Mogan. How you doing? Priorities. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good. Morning, Bill. Good to see you. Morning, sound everyone in the chat. Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. So if they release the Amazon, it will be a riot. Man United will be bantered, Natty. Trust me. Sal, morning, brother. Hope you're doing well. Glad you're safe journey. What if I can shout, mate? It's such a bad one, Brayo. And I've been fighting tooth and nail to find something positive to talk about Man United this morning. I really have been speaking to people, phone calls, journalists, and hopefully I'll get some journalists on this show whilst I'm out here in Italy at the moment. So, I've been fighting tooth and nail to find something really positive to talk about. I can't. I don't fabricate stories. I don't make up things. I don't pretend. I don't stand in front of a green screen and pretend everything is all rosy in the garden, because I don't do that. Because at the end of the day, if you love something, you have to be honest. Because at the end of the day, you don't really love them. If, like, as I said many times, if I walk into my house and my wife tells me, Sal, you're putting on weight, you're putting on a bit of timber, I'm not going to tell her, oh, you F off, you do that. I'm going to tell her, oh, really, am I? Because I know she loves me. At the end of the day, at least I hope. Only joking. But, I would say that, you have to call things how they are. You have to teach people about the birds and the bees sometimes, and this is exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I think Jim Ratcliffe needs to be taught about the birds and the bees in regards to Man United. Definitely, absolutely, he needs to be taught a few lessons about Man United. I don't think he knows what Man United is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but at the end of the day. I would love to get Jim Ratcliffe on this channel. And I would love to love to talk to Jim Ratcliffe face to face, and ask him some serious questions about Man United. Not at this moment in time, at the end of the day, at this moment in time, like Gary Neville and Jim Ratcliffe did in that interview. That's basically what it was. It wasn't nothing, there was no real strong questions were aimed at him. I would ask him. I say, who won the 1994 FA Cup final, Jim? And what was the score? I bet he wouldn't even know. He wouldn't even know. He wouldn't even. Oh wow! I can't remember. My memory's gone. I can't really remember everything. I've got so much things to do. Absolutely, I'm a businessman. Yeah, big up, Grayo. Baz, morning, Sal. Definitely not deal day. Definitely not, mate. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying, I'm just going to keep. I'm not going to say anything because we had this thing, and I quote. You know what? We heard from Manchester United themselves that they're going to get the deal done for Mbeumo on the 7th of July. Here we are. Who do we blame? We blame the club. We blame Ineos and stuff like that. Hopefully, whilst I'm out here in Italy, I'm in Naples, Napoli, I might get McTominay. Should I get McTominay to come over here? Just lives down the road from here. What I should say, guys, is that whilst I'm out here, I'm gonna try and get as much news and stories as possible and see if I can muster something from an Italian perspective. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I have a lot of connects out here. Been out here for many times, going out here 3-4 times a year. At the end of the day, so let's hope that something materializes. And let's see. But keep it locked on Stretford Post, guys. Morning, Sal. Let's not forget Mbeumo not go for Wharton. Membeno, Belabo, big up Randy. Yeah, Belabo and Wharton would love them at Manchester United, mate. Would love them at Man United. I think it'd be a statement signing. These are the sort of signings that Man United need to do. And this is exactly it. Look, at the end of the day, right, you can miss out on players. You can miss out on certain players. You can miss out on a striker and that. But do something else. Do something else. Fill us with a little bit of enthusiasm, some confidence. Do you know what I mean? Do something. Don't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs. Oh, we missed out on Osimhen and your Craze. Who are we going to get now? And we're working on this Mbeumo deal. For goodness sake, we're going to get this Mbeumo deal on September the 1st at this rate. And honest to God, if Man United came, I cannot believe that Man United would want to go into next season with those players. I would rather play the youth team. I'll be honest with you. I would rather play the youth team than play a lot of those players that played last season. I don't want to see those players next season. Because at the end of it, I know that you can't turn water into wine. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, with these players, it's going to be impossible. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. They do not care about the football club. They care the building of the stadium. Exactly, Natty. This is what they care about. The only thing that will hurt the Glazers, the only thing that's going to hurt Jim Ratcliffe is the rejection of this regeneration project. That is what needs to happen for us to progress, because then that would take power away from them financially. So if that is taken away from them, then they'll probably second guess whether they're going to stay at the football club. And then if it was rejected, then you would know that officially that they only cared about this regeneration project. Now they've helped the Glazers with that. The Glazers put a letter into the Manchester Council in 2018, and they couldn't do it by themselves. Jim Ratcliffe, here comes Jim Ratcliffe to save the day, the hero of the day. He's going to come here and he's going to save the Glazers. And that's what he did. He saved our arch enemy, guys. And that's what it is. Absolutely. Kenny, that's good background still. Thank you, mate. It's my apartment over in Naples. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, mate. I don't read all those books, by the way. It's just to make me look intelligent. I'm only joking. Benny, morning out, everyone. Big up, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're good. Darren, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Natty, what is wrong with our fan base? Their anger out of Sancho and Rashford, not Ugarte. I mean, Darren, if you saw the tweet, mate, I couldn't believe what I was seeing with my own eyes, mate. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. And that's what makes me think that's sinister reasons, Darren. We have to be honest. We have to face the reality here of what is going on here, guys. There is a sinister bunch of fans in our fan base that only support certain players because of what they're wearing or what they look like. And this is something that I never thought I'd see as a Manchester United fan. We're a family. That's what Man United are. No matter what background you're from, what country you're from, what you look like, that's what we are. Unfortunately, people were back. Sancho and Rashford could do whatever they want. They will still be backed. Ugarte, play every single game of the season, at the end there, and you know what, you'll get abused because you post a picture of your wife on holiday. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Shane, this thoughts on lineup Saka, Jokeris and Rodrigo first game. Look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Rodrigo, Shane. I'm not, but at the end of the day, it's a very tasty lineup, isn't it? You can't argue with that. It's a very good lineup that Arsenal got there. They've got a very good team assembling right there. They've got Zubimendi as well. Yeah, they've got a good team there, mate. Apart from supporting, another thing, look at Partey. People supporting him, even though he got multiple accounts of accusations and things like that, and people are still supporting him. I wonder why. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but, they've got a very good team, Arsenal, next season, and a fair play to them. Fair play. I don't have a leg to stand on now when I'm talking about other football. I dislike Arsenal with a passion. I will banter Arsenal to kingdom come. I will do that to unblue in the face. But I have not got a leg to stand on at the moment, because at the end of the day, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, are doing business, and we're not. We're resting on our laurels. We're not doing anything at the end of the day. And they're just going to move further and further away from us. Do I think they win the league? No. I think Liverpool will win it again, honestly, or Man City. Good morning, Sal. You in Italy? Yes, I am. In Revert 7, big up yourself. I am indeed in Italy, guys. I might do some maybe short videos and stuff like that whilst I'm out here. Maybe, why not? My expectation is now low for next season. I'm not much excited for next season. Absolute shambles, mate. Natty, you know what? This is the therapy channel, of course, next season. At this moment in time, this is going to be the therapy channel until something miraculous happens. We need something positive to happen at this football club, this great football club that is, been home to so many great footballers over the years, legends of the game, George Best, Duncan Edwards. People die for this football club, and here we are, people who are milking this football club. They don't care about this football club. If Jim Ratcliffe cared about this football club, he would have let Qatar buy that football club at the time. They were bid for the football club. He would have stepped aside and said, look, you know what? Qatar buying, I'm 77. Qatar buying the football club is best for Man United. Let them buy the football club. That's what I would have done. But no. He wants his name up in big lights in that new stadium, Sir Jim Ratcliffe Stadium. He wants Sir Jim Ratcliffe Way. He wants Ineos Park. That's what he wants, isn't it? That's what he wants. Don't be surprised if we get the Glazer Hotel. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that. Trust me, guys. Absolutely. Josh Dennis, Tago, the Atlantica striker would do. Retigi. Retigi's a very good player. Obviously, we've been linked to Scalvini of Atalanta as well, which is a decent player. Edison is a great player as well. Retigi, anyone at the moment. Josh, big up Josh, by the way. Anything at the moment. I would take anyone at Man United to come to Man United at the moment, because at the moment, I'm looking at Man United and I'm looking very downhearted in regards to everything. And we need something that is going to bring us a little bit of positivity. Even if we went out there and scouted the World Club Championship, and brought in a player, we brought in a Victor John or something like that. Even Nottingham Forest are getting players from, the World Club Championship, and we're just sitting down doing nothing. 10 million. Was it the Botafogo striker? Was it? 10 million. My goodness me. Big up, Steve. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed. Togo, Mike, Miko. So relegation fight next season. I don't think it would be that bad, Dogo. Not yet. I don't think it'd be that bad. I don't think that at this moment, Michael, I think that Man United will come 10th with this team now. I think we will come 10th, 9th. Like that, because we ain't got European football and stuff like that. But that's not to say in the future we won't decline if we don't get things sorted out. Because football and sport in general, is no promises. There's no promises. There's no guarantees. In regards to football, you don't have a divine right to be where you are. That's what I would say. Yeah, absolutely. Big up, Dogo. Good to see you, mate. Looking good. Loud this Man City colours though. I don't care now, mate. I really don't care. I like light blue. It suits my complexion. That's it at the end of the day. I've always worn sky blue. It's in regards to T-shirts and things like that, because it suits my complexion. That's the only reason I wear it. And big up Timberland. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so nah. They don't own the colour. And we might as well change the sky then. Red. Could we do that? Timo, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, all horror show, not my words. This is the horror show. Maybe I should do a horror show title of this Timo of Man United. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do like welcome to the horror show. And maybe I should have like all ghouls and zombies in the background. Today at Man United, in the creepy world of Man United. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? I should do this, the Breaking Dawn, not Dawn of the Dead, basically, isn't it? That's what Man United are. This is not Breaking Dawn. This is Dawn of the Dead. Welcome to Dawn of the Dead. And we're going to be talking about Manchester United, talking of Dawn of the Dead, absolutely. Because we act like zombies in this transfer market. Well, we're as slow as a zombie, definitely, ain't we? So welcome to Dawn of the Dead, not Breaking Dawn. That is what it is. That is what Man United are. A horror show, guys. An absolute horror show. Big up Timo, my friend. Hope you're doing it. Amorim did promise good times to come. Let's hope. But at the end of the day, big up Bash, by the way. But at the end of the day, Amorim can promise whatever he likes. At the end of the day, it's out of his hands. He could say that we're going to win the Champions League. I could say I'm going to win the Champions League in 10 years. I'm going to become a Man United manager. And the thing is that it's down to the Glazers and how they support him and what they do for this current moment in time. I don't want to think about what's going to happen in 15 years' time because of a regeneration vanity project. I want to know what's going on right now on the football pitch. As I've said many, many times, I don't care if Man United play at Hackney Marshes, as long as Man United are winning on the pitch. I don't really care. No, that's all I care about. And at the end of the day, Amorim can say he's gonna bring the good plans back. And God, I hope, fingers crossed, Amorim does. Because I like the guy. I rate the manager. But at the end of the day, his hands are tied in regards to this. And Ineos and the Glazers are in charge still of this football club. And whilst they're here, can you really... Look, nothing has ever been achieved on a budget. Nothing. Nothing will ever be achieved penny pinching. Nothing will ever be achieved. You want to build a house, right, with cheap foundations, you're going to get a cheap house. And it won't last very long. At the end of the day. You can either have, you can go to, like, for example, fly to another country, but you could fly on, a cheap airline, right? You're not going to get the thrills. You're not going to get anything like that. They're not going to challenge for the top airline in the world. Or you can go with like a Qatar Airways, which are the best in the world, right? Absolutely amazing, by the way. Food, I loved it. But look, you can do that. You can either have ambition, or you can say, right, we're content with where we are and we're happy because it gets us from A to B, doesn't it, at the end of the day? And this is the problem. Man United are, at the moment, come across content. They come across like it's all right. We're not challenging for top four, guys. Even challenging for top four, we've lowered our standards. Even that. When I used to go into seasons, I used to be like, it would be blasphemy. It'd be basically swearing if you said we've come below first. I remember Man United losing the league title in 1995 to Blackburn Rovers. Listen, guys, that summer was like the Great Depression. I literally was in tears coming second place. You know what I mean? And now look, if we come top 8, if we come top 6, we should never say it. We should never say it. Because at the end of the day, the Glazers and Ineos will love that because you've lowered the expectation for them. You've made life easier for them. And that is what it is. And I don't want to make life easier for them, even if it's unrealistic or not. I want us to say, this is Manchester United. Your aspirations should be for challenging for major honours, challenging for titles, challenging for Champions Leagues. Whether it's realistic or not, Man United should always have that. If we start lowering our expectations and becoming comfy with this situation that, as long as we come top 6, as long as we come top 8, that's all right, isn't it? That's a good season. Nah, man. Anything is possible in football. Teams have come from the doldrums to win titles. We need to come back and we need to start being Manchester United again. Because I'm pretty sure many teams out there won't be accepting this. If like Real Madrid won't be accepting this, would they, at the end of the day? Natty, so how will our club say to Osimhen, lower your wage demand when we are not in a position to say that we are 15th and we'll wait? Absolutely, mate. And I would argue, Natty, how can Galatasaray afford Osimhen, right? And we can't afford Osimhen. Galatasaray, guys, they don't have a fan base that we have worldwide. They can afford Osimhen, yet we can't persuade Osimhen to come to Manchester United. Where are we as a football club? Where are we? He would rather play in the Turkish league than play. Look, the bottom line is, guys, is that Man United didn't try hard enough. And that is exactly what it is with Osimhen. The bottom line is they didn't try hard enough. And that is it. They sort of like, as I said the other day, how Man United approach transfers. This is how Man United approach transfers. This is how Man United approach expensive transfers, right? When Man United approach expensive transfers, this is what they do. When someone holds the door open for you, yeah? And you're literally like 6 yards away, or let's say like 10 meters away, okay? So you're sort of caught in the middle of being close to the door and far away from the door. And you do that little awkward jog, a bit like Rashford does when he's trying to press the game, yeah? Press. A bit like Rashford does. So you pretend you're jogging for the door. This is how Man United approach transfers. They do that little awkward jog. Not a run, not a jog, but it's like a little awkward walk jog. That is how Man United do transfers that they don't want to spend money on. Now, when a player of Osimhen's quality sees that Man United, they don't really want me, do they? They don't really want to sign me. Look at them. They're not really fighting tooth and nail for me. Galatasaray love me. Have you seen the videos of the Galatasaray fans with Osimhen? How they treat him? Obviously he's going to think, I can either go to Man United, right, and in the absolute mess, or I can, go to Galatasaray, absolutely love me. That is it. And that is how I say Man United are. As a typical analogy of how Man United are in this transfer window, this is exactly what I would say, guys. Revert 7, big up. That Portuguese lad you said on the other week, it was right. Your Craze was at Arsenal first. Yeah, he was right, and I agree with him with that. Revert 7. Absolutely, Sebastião. Yeah, Sebastião Pedro Pinto. Yeah, he was on the show. Portuguese journalist, of course, was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he did say he would choose Arsenal, and yeah, he would. Why not? Man United are not in a position to be making decisions now. Man United are not in that league, and the way this transfer window is going at the moment, I don't think Man United tried hard enough. I don't think they went for Goalkeeper. I really don't. I think they'll just put all their eggs in one basket. I think they're after Mbeumo. They've been fighting for Mbeumo for the last month. and they have forgotten about your carers and they've forgotten about others. So if you snooze, you lose. As I said, you snooze, you lose. If you don't put your whole heart in anything, you're going to miss out on it. Anything you do, you have to put your heart in it. If you want your carers, Man United could have got your carers. Of course they could have. At the end of the day, if they had the skill and the ability to negotiate and fight for him, they could have got him. But at the end of the day, look, he went to Arsenal, and that's just it. And now Arsenal are going to improve. I hope he doesn't tear it up. I really don't. I hope he flops. But at the end of the day, that's where we are. I never thought I'd be that fan, hoping that other teams fail. I never thought I'd be that fan. But then I look at things, and I look at things in a way that, well, congratulations to Arsenal. They're doing things properly. They're backing their manager. At the end of the day, I don't want to hear about Champions League. You didn't qualify. Okay, you didn't qualify for the Champions League. I don't want to hear about that. I don't care. I don't care now. Because at the end of the day, we knew what was wrong at this football club. We knew we're not a Champions League football team. We know we're not a Champions League football team. We're not good enough to be in the Champions League. I'm of the belief now that even if Man United qualify for the Champions League, I don't think they're going to spend that money on Man United. I really don't. I'm at such a low with my belief in this ownership and this partial ownership that I'm thinking like this. Grayo, 45 likes, guys. Can we smash the likes up? Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up to 50 likes. Can we get to literally 60, 70 by the end of the show? Can we do that, guys? Please don't forget 250 of you online. Please don't forget to join, guys. Jim and Glazer out. Big flop. Qatar in needed. Big up Irfan. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Randy, I was one of the people who thought we might get relegated after I felt management change. And last season, you said we'd get relegated. I said we wouldn't get relegated. Not because I think we're a good football team, Randy, but because Man United are better than the bottom three. There were other seasons when Man United would have got relegated. But everyone knows that Man United only came that low because we put all our eggs in the Europa League basket. That was it. When we shouldn't have done that, that was wrong. But that is what happened. Man United put all their eggs in the Europa League basket and they got slapped in the face. That's what happened. So they lost games at the end of the season. Right, Man United won't get relegated simply for the fact that they're better than most of the teams that are in the bottom three. Will Man United get relegated in the future? Right, it's a possibility because at the end of the day, Man United have not got lower than the low. Man United can go lower. At the end of the day, and there are teams still who are lower than us. But that doesn't last forever, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to be better than those teams. Forever. They might overtake you. And at the moment, I'm looking at this football club and I'm looking at, we're probably the worst run football club in the Premier League. Given who we are, we're probably the worst run football club in the Premier League. That's what I would say, guys. And I mean that. LB, big up, my friend. So FC transfer market only in one. It's ridiculous. Big up Irfan, absolutely. Special lights, thank you so much, Natty, you legend. Thank you, mate. Great. Big up everyone, of course. Big up Mickey. I hope you're doing well. So Bruno, they have money. So Bruno said they have money. Look, at the end of the day, they rejected 100 million for Bruno, and I said it then, and I'll say it now. Right? I don't want them to complain about money when they rejected money for Bruno. I don't want them to moan about money. I don't want them to talk about money if they rejected 100 million for a 31-year-old. I don't want to hear it now. You've got the money. You rejected 100 million. I don't want to hear anything else anymore about they got no money. Well, why didn't you accept 100 million for Bruno then? But then again, I look at it and at this moment in time, I'm not going to flip-flop from it. I feel like if we accepted the offer for Bruno, there's no guarantees that money's going to be reinvested in the football club. And this is exactly what I said then as well. When the bid was going on with Bruno, I said, do you actually believe that they're going to reinvest that 100 million in the football club? At this moment, you look at things and you think, I don't trust them. It's ridiculous. And 6 new players in, 1 more. We need, yeah, absolutely. Probably will get it, but probably be Calvert-Lewin and all those bums. I lived through relegation. It hurt, and I don't want to experience it again. 1974, we got relegated. I would say, Randy, that 1974 team was a lot better than this team as well. Would you agree? Revert 7. Onana had 2 years to prove himself. That's long enough for me. I gave him the benefit of the doubt in 1 year, but I've had enough now. I agree with that, Seven. I think Onana is a symbolization of where we are. I don't want to pick on Onana, but Onana's not a good enough goalkeeper for Man United. He's a 27-year-old, 28-year-old who can't get any better. He's reached his peak. You can't teach an old dog new tricks at the end of the day. And I would say, we definitely need Onana at this football club. And guys, the problem is that Man United are working like a sloth at the moment in regards to this transfer window. We're working slower than a sloth, like a snail and a sloth combined. A mixed breed of a snail and a sloth together. That is how we are working. Goodness me, the analogies in the show are crazy. We're a mixed breed of a snail and a sloth in the transfer market at the moment. And we've had zombies, we've had snails, we've had sloths, we've had the whole lot, guys, at the end of the day on this channel. And this is what it is. This is how we feel when we visualize Ineos and we visualize the Glazers. This is how we feel. And we can't sugarcoat that, can we? Sanjay, good morning, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Marky Mark, good morning, legend. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. I'm very well, thank you, mate. Yes, starting to get worried now. Only one signing and no exits. I know in the world of football, anything can change. So trying to hold the hope. Look, mate. No. Big up now, Mick Marky. Yeah, great comment, by the way. Great comment. Very balanced. I like that. It is very important that we don't absolutely, kill ourselves in regards to anxiety and stress. You have to stay a little bit grounded, right? But I'm being realistic at the same time. If we get to the start of the season, let's say the first game of the season against Arsenal, right? If we get to the first game of the season and we brought in a few players and I feel confident, I'm going to say, well, let's see how this goes, right? Even though I would have loved to have a pre-season with these players, let's see how things go. But at this moment, we are in July the 8th, right? And we got the pre-season has started. We're training now. We're playing Leeds United on the 19th. I'll do the watch along for that, by the way. We're playing Leeds United on the 19th. And at the moment, I just can't see any light at the end of the tunnel, Marky Mark. And you're absolutely right. And you're absolutely great. You're absolutely perfectly right in regards to saying that we need to try and hope. There's hope that kills you, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's the hope that leads you on, and you end up being disappointed. And with Man United, I've become I've got like a shield around me now. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I've been hurt enough with Man United to say that I'm not gonna believe in them anymore now. I mean, at the end of the last season, I didn't think it could get any worse. We were doing the cha-cha going on. How low can you go? How low can you go? We're going lower than low, guys. No, we were doing the splits, guys. That's what we were doing. And to be honest with you, I just can't see how they fix this. We've looked. There is only so many great world-class players in Europe at the moment. We need a striker, right? Osimhen and Gyökeres are gone. So those are two world-class strikers that are gone now. Where do we go now? You have to look around and say, who else do we get now? You know what I mean? And this is what's worrying me, Marky Mark. Absolutely. Big up, Marky Mark. Benny, for me, at the minute, Onana is a huge problem, has simply not good enough for United. Next few days, we'll get some huge spin from United to take away from the focus on signings, Ineos and the Glazer. Absolutely, Benny. And the biggest thing for us to do is to see through it. That is the biggest thing. We need to not be manipulated by it. This is the thing. Problem is, right, there are some fans out there who supported Ineos from the beginning, right? And they will not change their opinion on Ineos because they don't want to be deemed wrong or look stupid and stuff like that. So their ego denies them from changing their narrative, from changing their opinion. So they will fall for the spin. Muppeteers, all these clowns, you know what I mean? They're clowns, guys. At the end of the day, Muppeteers is a clown, you know what I mean? And should be watching NFL. That's what he should be doing because he does nothing. He knows nothing about the heritage of Manchester United. He just likes the Glazers. And he loved Ineos. That's it, and doesn't like people who look a certain way, And at the end of the day, Man United's opportunity came and gone when Man United had Qatar. Could have had Qatar, and we lost out on that, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? And there are people out there who were supporting Ineos because he's born and bred. No, it weren't that. It wasn't that, and it was basically something else, something more sinister. And I will never forget that. Never as I go on. So will I turn my back on? Did I turn my back on Ineos? No, I didn't. I gave them a chance. I said, okay, they've got their 27%. Let's see what they can do. I don't care. Oh, they don't own the full football club. I don't care. We could have had a full buyout if they weren't there. That's the whole point here. We could have had a full buyout if they weren't there. So I would say that, you know what? See what they do. And I was like that last year, and I praised them last year. I said they did all right in that transfer window. Did okay. Not perfect, but they did okay. But now you look at it, but since then, everything they've done has been a negative. Whether they're making players redundant, whether they're backing the wrong player or manager, whatever they're doing, they're making mistake after mistake. Whether they're shacking Ashwood, whether Browsford is gone, all these mistakes, expensive mistakes that they've made. And I'm seeing people not calling them out. And they should be called out, because they're afraid of being wrong. I want to see all these guys out there who supported Ineos to come out and say, if this transfer window doesn't go wrong, if this transfer window doesn't go right at the beginning of the season, I want these Ineos lovers to come out and tell us they were wrong about them. That's what I want to know. I also want to know when Ineos don't buy the full club in 2026, like they claimed they would, like all those fans claimed they would, for them to come out and say, we were wrong. Because I will come out and say, well, I was wrong about Ineos. They smashed it this transfer window. I'll do that. Because I only care about what happens at Man United. I don't give a two hoots about what my opinion is. I care about what happens to Man United. That's what I care about. Because this club is bigger than me, is bigger than every single fan out there. Because that's all I care about. And Qatar was the right choice for Man United. And I said that then, and I'll say it again. Right? And I don't want to hear any excuses. No more. I don't want to hear any, we got our money. And then, you know what? Just to add up to that, just to add on to that, they bought the purchase club. They facilitated the Glazers. Okay. And then they're rejecting 100 million for Bruno. Then I don't want to hear about they ain't got the money as well. No more. Brian and Bramo, I hope we get that over the line, bro. I hope so. It's very important, Kevin. The Brian and Bruno deal is very important for Man United. I do believe Brian and Bruno is a key signing. I do. And I will give them their credit to that, signing Bruno. But I won't give them their credit for the duration it's taken because Man United need a lot of work that needs to be done. Man United needed this summer, forget about Eriksson and Lindelof and Evans, who've left the football club, 3 players, right? And obviously Rashford and Sancho, who don't play for the football club. Forget about those 5 players, okay? Man United needed about 10 players out, right? And 10 players in. That was a full rebuild. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that was a full rebuild. At the moment, I'm asking someone to cook me a meal. And I said, I want peas, right? I want peas. Like peas, the green peas? I want green peas with my meal. And what Man United are doing, right, is they're putting a plate on the table and they're giving me one pea, one little grain of pea, right? And I said, where's the rest of the peas? They go, we're going to give you the other pea tomorrow. We're going to give you the other pea. I say, but there's about 100 peas that you need to make a dish of peas, right? And they're like, no, we're going to give you one pea now and we give you another pea later. Is that okay? And you're like, oh, no. You're like, this is too slow. I can't be dealing with this. I can't be dealing with this. And this is the Glazers. This is Ineos. This is what Ineos are doing. Exactly in Imagery. With Bremo. In Boomer. Ugarte, when placed next to Casemiro next season, was a decent partnership. We became poor when Bruno was put. And the biggest worry about it, Albie, is that Bruno will be that number 8 next season. We're spending 100 million. We rejected 100 million, right, to play a player out of position. We rejected 100 million to play a player out of position. Madness, isn't it? 100% judged Ugarte this season. So absolutely, Benny. This season there's no way to hide. Absolutely. Big up, Dogo. I seriously think they aren't Man United fans. No other fan base hate their players like we do. Absolutely. Call things constructively, Michael, isn't it? When you call out people, when you call out players, there's nothing wrong in calling out a player and giving your constructive opinion. There's nothing wrong in calling out the manager and giving a constructive opinion. That's fine. But these people hate people for sinister reasons. And you know what? The hate for Ugarte, it baffles me. Don't understand it. Revan says, all Bawar fans love the scapegoat, Maguire, etc., etc. At the end of the day, there's no individual problem at this football club. right? There's a lot of problems at this football club. One is the Glazers, the other is Ineos, the other is the stadium, the other is, the coaches, the medical team. There's loads of problems at this football club, and you can't say that, one player is going to come out of this football club, come in and be fantastic, because I don't believe for 1 minute, right, that those players are 15th level players. They're much better than that, and they've proven that as well. A lot of these players came third with Erik ten Hag. A lot of these players have come second without Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, at the end of the day, and they know they can perform when they want to perform, but they can also underperform when they want to underperform. And last season, we gave them a little bit of an inch, basically in regards to we need the Europa League, we need to win the Europa League, and and we put our eggs in one basket. So they, as their mentality has proven over the years, you give them an inch, they will prove it to you. They will down tool. They will down tool. Oh, we don't need this game. It don't matter. We win the next game. We go again next time and stuff like that. Look, I really would hope that I come on this channel in the next few days and weeks and come across a positive and saying great things, that we signed this player. Even if we signed in Boomo, guys. At the end of the day, I would be like, about time. But you know what? Great. There's something positive come out of the football club. At the moment, I don't like being negative. I don't. I'm too old to be negative all the time. You know what I mean? It's good for my health. But I have to call things how they are. I have to call things, objectively, subjectively, however you want to say it, that, we have to be realistic in regards to this football club. I want to come out tomorrow or the day after and say, great signing, brilliant signing, agree with that signing, brilliant. Now, we've lost Gyökeres and we lost Osimhen, guys. Who else is out there? Mateta? Well, we're not even moving for Mateta at the moment. We're not even moving for Mateta. Who else? Gonzalo Ramos? We're not even moving for him at the moment. What are we doing? We're not moving for him at the moment. Retigi? We're not moving for him at the moment. There's loads of players out there that I will look at right now and say, well, it's not Gyökeres, it's not Osimhen, but you know what? It's got the potential to be. It's got the potential to be a good signing. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Calvert-Lewin. I don't want to see 70 million for Ollie Watkins. I want to see something that is a long-term plan, that is smart, astute, clever. That's what I want to see. I want to see smart signings. I want to see signings that you thought, wow, weren't expecting that. That's out the blue. What a find. Right? Okay, fair enough. They got Aiden Heaven through the door. Great signing. Everyone knew who Lenny Yoro was, by the way. Real Madrid knew who he was, so I'm not giving them credit for that. Aiden Heaven, by the way. That's a good one. Well done. Now, what about the rest? How many Aiden Heavens have we purchased so far? Cheeto's not playing. Cheeto might end up being a great striker, and I hope he gets game time next season. But at the moment, he's not playing. I would play him ahead of Rasmus myself. I would. If we don't get a striker, I would play him ahead of Rasmus. If we get a striker, I would like Cheeto to be second choice and be nurtured off the experienced striker. I really hope it changes, guys. I really do, because at the end of the day, I don't want to come on this stream, and giving you doom and gloom and things like that. Absolutely not. I don't. And I hope that in the next coming weeks, which is pivotal to not only this summer, it's pivotal to our history. This summer can make or break us long term. If we flop this summer and I get to the first game again in August against Arsenal and we've only got Cunha, right? I wouldn't rule out relegation down the line. I wouldn't rule it out, because at the end of the day, I've seen great teams get relegated. I've seen a team of Fabrizio Ravanelli, Juninho, Emerson get relegated. If you know, you know. I've seen a Leeds United team who got to the Champions League semi-final again, get relegated. Champions League semi-final a year before and they're getting relegated. A team that included, Mark Viduka, Alan Smith, all these players, you know what I mean? Harry Kewell, Ian Hart, and they got relegated. Lucas Radebe, Nigel Martin. So I wouldn't rule out. But both of those teams are better than us currently. You know what I mean? Kenny, Ugarte and Dorgu are got scapegoated the most. Yeah, Dorgu, I love Dorgu. I think he'll be a great player next season. A big season for him. I think he done well last season. I thought the criticism was absolutely ridiculous again. Sancho hate is valid. It is. I mean, I wouldn't call it hate, Dorgu. I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone, mate. Actually, if people scroll back to before we signed Sancho, I was the Sancho FC guy. You know what I mean? I was when the European Championships was going on and England got to the final against Italy, I was the one screaming out, "Why isn't Sancho playing? Why isn't Sancho playing?" Sancho's let me down. I don't hate him. No, I don't hate anyone. It's only football, but I'm disappointed with them. I dislike the way they're going on, the way they're going about things. I dislike the fact they don't respect the badge. Dabizaz joke. I do not hate anyone. Big up Dabizaz. Absolutely. No, I know you don't, mate. Revet7 fans have their favourites and are very zealous, overly zealous. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kazi. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, sir. Please tell me about the complete move for Man United. Big up, Samuel. Hope you're doing well. Well, carry on tuning into Stretford Post, guys, and we'll get some news, guys. I landed in Italy not long ago, and hopefully I'll get some news whilst I'm out here. Just keep it locked, and I'm going to do what I did last year. Of course, later on, I've got Jamie Jackson on the show, guys. You know Jamie Jackson, the journalist. I've got him on the show, guys. So tune in for that, of course, guys. That'd be good. Big up, LB. Big up, Kenny. They would name the in Europa. Absolutely. Big up, Kenny. Morning, everyone. Of course, big up, everyone, guys. It has been an emotional show. It always is with Man United, isn't it? We don't really get anything positive these days, but hopefully that will change over the next years. You know what I mean? Weeks. And we get something positive that comes through this football club. But I'm looking at players now, great players around Europe and the world. I'm counting them down. They're going. Missed out on that one, missed out on that. No one bites the dust. Hopefully we find something and they pull a rabbit out of the hat, which I don't think they do. They will, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. But guys, try and stay positive. Pick up Hope, what's going on? How you doing? Sal, good morning. Ineos, what a curse they are, United. Only to triple the problem. Suck the life out of the club. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Big up, Gray, you legend. Thank you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, Dabizas, Wharton over and Brumo. That is crazy. We need both, mate, not one. And Aqua, Jar. Yes, let's forget about Brumo. He is not our solution. And Brumo transfer saga is killing our time to look for. Why can't they go after two, though, Jar? Why can't they go after two? Thank you, everyone who's joined me today, guys. Thank you, legends, you absolute diamonds. I will see you later on for Chatterbox, guys. Don't forget to join me. I've got Jamie Jackson on. Please don't forget to smash a like on the channel as well and the video, guys. Really appreciate you. It's going to be a big few weeks. I'm in Italy. I'm going to be doing lots of work, guys. So don't forget to join me for everything. I will see you later on for Chatterbox, guys. Don't forget to join me, of course, normal time. And take it easy, guys, and don't stress too much. We're in it together, guys. Remember that. We are in it together. And don't forget to smash a like, guys. Very important, very important to smash a like. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Have a good morning. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy.